Agitha practicing social distance in her room under her bed. She knows that I'm filming. She doesn't like it. She's got under her bed, but there she is, social distancing queen. Now let's find the twins. Twins, no, don't come into your sister's room. She's gone under the bed. Back. She'll freak out if you come in. We've already had, earlier today, we had one of the twins invaded his sister's room. She was out of the room at the time, but she was not happy about it. And he went and ate some of her food. And now they know they're not supposed to come in. See, I've opened the door. But they know they're sitting right there at the threshold. They know that their sister will really freak out if they come into her room. Now, let's do the sit down portion of the podcast. Hello, everybody. It's me, the Nutty Professor. I'm hanging in there. I'm back. A slight change of location for the filming for today. Rather than on the dining room chair, I'm doing it here in my so-called ego chair, which has come up in previous podcasts. And the lighting isn't all that great. My producer student used to say, you get too much light, you can't see. At this point, I don't really care. I think everybody knows what I look like. So I'm going to sit here. There's a reason for this. And everything's fine. I'm still clear. You've seen the Mayhem twins. They're running around. They may make an appearance because I'm sitting here. Social distancing queen is in her room. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I've seen other people say this kind of thing in TikToks. But, if it wasn't for those twins, for the three kids that I have, particularly the twins, particularly the babies, I don't think I would have made it. I would not have made it clear, and I may not still be here. So the twins are they're running around. I can see them, but the twins are the biggest pushes imaginable. They know they're a little thrown off because I'm doing my taping here rather than on the a dining table. But if it was, they are the hugest pushes, and my friends acknowledge this. My cat rescuer friend in another province keeps talking about how the three pushes I have are way bigger than I think that they will. That I will stay clear. However, it's been tough. It's been really tough again. And that's what's kind of frustrating me a little bit is it's been a year and a half, clear, but it's been a hell of a struggle. And those of you who've been following these know, and and it's and I keep saying it. I kind of chose the hard way of doing this, doing it pretty much entirely on my own. Except for, of course, my kids and my friends, the few friends that sweetheart, one of them has jumped onto the playpen and is collapsing it. They love their playpen. They've got all the toys in there. It's in the living room. I don't have a coffee table, and he's jumped on the play. When they were babies, they used to jump onto the roof of the playpen. But and it's a convert. Sweetheart, can you please? I'm trying to tape here. I have to press pause. The kid has collapsed his playpen. 1 second. They're not called the Mayhem twins for nothing. I had to unzip the roof. It's like a convertible. But now everything's fine. They're up to stuff, But as I was saying, it's been very. The pull is back. Werewolf, fucking werewolf. Now, I don't know if I can swear or not swear on these. I used to swear in classes, and students used to, not all the time, but from time to time. And it was part of the persona. They're adults. It was university, not school, and most students appreciated it, being treated like adults, and that's part of my persona. That's who I am. Once or twice, I get people going, "Oh, we don't like you swearing," But and I was told specifically when I did the TV Ontario thing not to swear because they would have to bleep me out and all of that stuff, even though that's really part of it. And when we started these podcasts, my producer, my former student, said, it's better not to, swear. So I've said F a couple of times. But I've seen people swear on YouTube. I've seen a lot of people swear on TikToks, and they just say not for kids or whatever. And I've got so few viewers. I had 27 views on the last podcast, So it's basically the people I sent it to, the people, and I don't, if they block me or they shut me off, fuck it, I don't think they will. I'm, talking about addiction. I'm talking to a werewolf. I'm telling a werewolf to fuck off, an inner werewolf. And I'm at this point, I don't care. At this point, I'm like, I get 27 viewers. I do it mostly for myself, the few people that, follow me, mostly people that I know. There may be a couple of other strugglers out there. I keep saying that. There may be a couple of other people who've kind of discovered these podcasts from the start about alternate approach to addiction, doing it on my own, not 12 steps. And if it helps a couple of people, fine. But if they're going to ban me for saying fuck it, So I'm at this point where I just don't give a shit, So, but I'm still clear. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff been going on as things have been opening up, and that's part of the whole thing. I've discussed this before. I have not got vaccinations, not because I'm an anti-vaxxer or anti-masker or anything like that. Obviously, I start the podcast wearing a mask. I dropped mine, but just as a show of support, and I would get vaccinations, but I've discussed this before. If I get vaccinations, it's going to make the cravings go through the roof. They're already through the roof, but I would have fallen by now, because that is one of the pushes in that world, in the underground, where, people, you go to the motels and you're doing stuff, and you're dealing with people and, stuff, there's going to be very little wiping going on. And there's a lot of, and that will give me that false sense of confidence. It'll be like, oh, now I don't have to worry about COVID. I've had my vaccinations. Let's go do a binge. That's one less thing I have to worry about. It would kind of tip the scales, the favor of that. So I'm holding back, and I'm pretty sure, this latest wave, as things are opening up and everybody's like, celebrating and patios, and my werewolf is going, yeah, fine, you'll see it on the patio, but I want more. I would my kind of party. I it's all very nice to have, something on a patio, but I would my shit. And I've had a couple of dreams about the CNE, Canadian National Exhibition, and it's people celebrating and a whole bunch of people in there. And in one dream, I kind of went from there to a dodgy situation, possible places of ill repute where you could get substances, So it's like, the kind of party that my inner werewolf or id wants, as things are opening up. It's like, everybody's partying. My kind of party. So one of the biggest pushes, as always, are the kids. They're the biggest pushes, and then all the other things. And the risk of not being vaccinated going into that world, and stuff being mixed, all of that stuff. There's but it's been 1.5 years. We're approaching another milestone, and that's the other thing. And one of my cat rescuer friends, the one in a different province, sent me a very sweet email the other day saying, that she wishes that the the werewolf would just fuck off and go pester someone else for a change, you know. But she's the one who really very firmly believes that my pushes, the three pushes, the kids, the cats, you know, are stronger than anything that the fucking werewolf could push at me, you know. So, but you know, the werewolf. I mean, it's very powerful. It's id. It's I want it. I want it now. Remember the Freud for lines. It's like so it's been very powerful. I've been battling. It's been very frustrating, and we've discussed this before. Approaching a milestone. It happened before 1 year, so we're approaching a milestone. The cravings go up a bit. And then this whole party atmosphere, celebrations, everybody things are starting to open up, and you know, it's like it's been a year and a half. And it's been tough. I mean, as I said, I've got my emails and texts with my friends, particularly, and I'm a shout out to my two cat rescuer friends, the local one who is involved with a formal shelter, and one out of province who has an informal shelter, and they've been very, very supportive, emails and texts, So, and then my analyst, every 2 weeks Zoom sessions. So, last 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's just been, hanging in by a thread. However, yesterday I made a trip out to the country to and I thought that might help to a little rechanneling, and I had the Corvette here, the podcast on it from last year, and I took the Corvette, broke down on the highway. And then that was a whole, if we're talking about messages from the universe and stuff like that, and I'm stuck on the highway in the 401, and these huge trucks going by, and the cars like smoking, and it's not going over 40 kilometers an hour. It's and I called my mechanic, and he said have it towed, and then the tow truck people go, CA goes, oh, we can't let you ride in the tow truck because of COVID, and then to do this and do that and arrange this, and I'm sitting there, and there's big trucks going by, and I'm like going, ooh, this is a, but I got everything's fine, and I do also realize that I have resources that a lot of struggling addicts or recovering addicts or whatever you want to call it may not have. I mean, I do have a country house. I do have a car collection. I do have my kids. I have a place where I can keep my kids. I've got all of that stuff. And but everything's a double-edged sword. On the other hand, just the fact that I don't have to worry about stealing or dealing to do my stuff makes it harder, because I do have access to resources. Anyway, you know what? I'm going to have to make this a two-parter. So we'll come back to this. But I'm still clear. I'm hanging in there. Okay. We'll be back. I'll be back.